This private jet is flying completely empty, yet someone may still be making money. That sounds impossible until you understand positioning flights. Private aviation sells something more valuable than seats. It sells immediate access to the aircraft. And that promise creates a strange economic problem. The jet follows the passenger's schedule. The passenger never follows the jet's schedule. Suppose a customer charters a private jet. They fly from Miami to New York. The aircraft successfully completes its paid journey, but its next customer is waiting elsewhere. Perhaps that passenger needs departure from Chicago. The jet must therefore leave New York empty. This empty journey is called a repositioning flight. Inside aviation, it is often called an empty leg. No passenger booked the original empty journey, but the aircraft still needs to make it. It burns fuel throughout the entire flight. Pilots and crew must still be paid. Airports still charge landing and handling fees. Maintenance costs accumulate during every airborne hour. The aircraft also loses part of its lifespan. So empty does not mean economically inactive. An empty jet can cost thousands per hour, and somebody must eventually absorb that expense. Usually, it is hidden inside charter pricing. This changes how private aviation actually works. Airlines sell individual seats on scheduled routes. Private operators sell control of an entire aircraft. An airline waits for passengers to arrive. A private jet travels to collect its passenger. That flexibility is the real luxury product. The leather seats are only its visible packaging. A customer may choose departure time and airport. They can avoid crowded commercial terminals. They can reach smaller regional airports directly. They can change plans with little warning. But extreme convenience produces extreme operational inefficiency. Aircraft rarely finish where demand appears next. Demand constantly shifts between cities and seasons. Business travelers may fly one direction only. Vacation passengers often return days later. Celebrities may change destinations without much notice. Sports teams move according to event schedules. The jet network is constantly becoming unbalanced. One city develops too many available aircraft. Another suddenly has customers, but insufficient supply. Operators solve this by moving empty planes. That is where the hidden system begins. Charter companies constantly track aircraft across multiple airports. They monitor demand, weather, crews, and maintenance. Every new booking becomes a logistics puzzle. Which nearby aircraft can serve the customer? Where will that aircraft finish afterward? Can another paying passenger use its return journey? A profitable booking can create an unprofitable flight. Consider a customer paying for one direction. The jet carries them to their destination, but no customer purchases the return journey. The operator now faces two imperfect choices. It can leave the aircraft sitting there. Parking may be expensive and demand uncertain. Or it can fly the aircraft home empty. Either decision creates costs without guaranteed revenue. This explains why charter prices look extraordinarily high. Customers are not only paying for occupied hours. Their price may cover hidden positioning requirements. It may also include possible empty returns. Now the business model becomes much clearer. The customer sees one luxurious 2-hour flight. The operator may manage 4 costly movements. First, the jet reaches the departure airport. Second, it performs the customer's paid flight. Third, it travels toward another customer. Finally, it may return to its base. Only one movement looked valuable to the customer. All 4 movements created expenses for the operator. Fuel is only the beginning of those expenses. Private jets require professionally trained flight crews. Pilots face limits on working and flying hours. Their location must match the aircraft's location. Sometimes crews require hotels and ground transportation. Aircraft also need inspections after scheduled intervals. Certain components have limited usable cycles. Every takeoff and landing consumes one cycle. That happens whether passengers are on board or absent. Engines may require extremely expensive scheduled maintenance. Insurance and regulatory compliance create additional overhead. Hangars, cleaning, and administration continue costing money, and the aircraft itself rapidly loses value. A grounded jet avoids some flight expenses, but an unused jet generates no charter revenue. The operator therefore needs high aircraft utilization. Utilization means keeping the jet productively active, but more flights also accelerate maintenance requirements. This creates the industry's central financial tension. A stationary jet is an expensive idle asset. A flying jet is an expensive deteriorating asset. Profit exists somewhere between those two conditions. Operators try to monetize unavoidable empty journeys. They offer them as discounted empty leg flights. A traveler gets private aviation for less. The operator recovers part of an existing expense, but this is not ordinary discounted travel. The route has already been determined beforehand. Departure timing may offer very little flexibility. The flight can also change or disappear. That happens if the original customer changes plans. Remember, their booking created the empty leg. Without that original flight, the opportunity may vanish. Empty leg passengers therefore receive price instead of control. They buy leftover aircraft movement, not full flexibility. This resembles selling an expiring hotel room. Once departure time passes, its value becomes zero. Even a discounted customer can improve the economics. The aircraft was already making that journey. Most major costs were already unavoidable. Additional revenue can reduce the operator's loss. But empty leg sales cannot solve everything. The buyer must need exactly that route. They must also accept the available departure time. That combination is difficult to find quickly. Many empty legs therefore remain completely empty. Technology companies are trying to improve this system. Booking platforms display aircraft availability more efficiently. Software predicts demand across different regional markets. Operators can exchange flights and available aircraft. Better information can reduce unnecessary repositioning journeys. But software cannot eliminate geography itself. Passengers still want different destinations at different times. Aircraft still end journeys in inconvenient locations. Fractional ownership offers another possible solution. Customers purchase access instead of one entire aircraft. A fleet serves many owners across different locations. Membership programs use a similar access model. Customers pay for availability and predictable service. Larger fleets can match demand more efficiently, but guaranteed access creates another expensive obligation. An aircraft must remain available when promised. That may require maintaining spare fleet capacity. More availability can mean more underused aircraft. The apparent solution creates its own hidden cost. Owning a jet faces the same problem. The purchase price is only the entrance fee. Owners must fund crews, maintenance, and storage. Chartering the aircraft can offset those costs. But charter use adds hours and physical wear. More revenue may reduce the aircraft's resale value. Every option contains a different financial sacrifice. In the best case, empty legs find customers. Fleet software keeps aircraft positioned near demand. Paid hours comfortably cover operating and ownership costs. Realistically, some empty flying always remains unavoidable. Operators survive by pricing that inefficiency into bookings. In weaker markets, demand falls, but costs continue. Aircraft sit idle or reposition without paying passengers. Margins can then disappear remarkably quickly. Private jets fly empty because convenience requires imbalance. The passenger buys freedom. The operator manages the emptiness.